So my name is Michal Zlesak. I'm responsible for extreme networks in Czech, Slovakia, and Hungary. Not sure if anybody knew me from the previous times, but 2 years ago, we were presenting actually this solution in this conference, and we participated in the competition, and we got the award as the best foreign innovation with the mobile identity and access management. And it was at the time of Pervasive, and now I'm the Extreme Networks because the company was acquired by Extreme Networks on the autumn last year. So since that time, there was a lot of new information and a lot of new development in the company. So, and I would like to share with you where we are and how to make the mobile connectivity pervasive, and especially the application visibility that we are now providing to mobile devices. So that was just the beginning 2 years ago. Since that, we got, for example, customer here in Hungary with Unica. So it's our customer that was a direct lead from the conference. And let's talk a bit about, I'm not going to use that much of PowerPoint slides, but more the live demo and maybe a bit interactive session. So Extreme Networks acquired, as I said, Pervasive last year, and as a combination of the two companies that is now the fourth biggest networking company in the world. And we as Pervasive added management, visibility into the network, all the I would say the management capabilities to the portfolio, while Extreme Networks came with the very powerful networking. So now we are able to address much wider needs from the market. I promised to talk about how to make mobility pervasive, and it's very much related to the trends like bring your own device. And this is the matter that is being discussed for a couple of years, and the organization has various responses to bring your own device. So some decided not to use it at all, usually because of the security features. Some allow, but they restrict devices to use separate VLANs, just to put it into the special VLAN or some sandbox. Some allow bring your own device, which usually is connected to the implementation of mobile device management. And some allow that, but they control the access network-wide based on the technologies like network access management. And some, they combine these technologies. And let me just explain before, and what's important, that's what are actually the drivers and expectations. So why we are talking about the bring your own device. The users, they want to choice of flexibility. They want to use devices or their own choice. They want to have it simple, and they want to have consistent experience. So once they use mobile phone, once they use tablet, once they use the laptop, and they always want to have the same user experience. It's working, they get the service they expect. From organization point of view, they want to mitigate the risk and security. They want to have it as cost effective as possible, return obviously their investment, so to pay for that as less as possible and increase the IT productivity. And IT, they want to actually have the visibility, who is connected, what devices, how many devices are in the network, what are the operating systems there, what users are behind the devices, what are the locations they are in the network. So these are the expectations. A lot of people, they think if we talk about the mobile identity and access management, they think we talk about the mobile device management. It's just a slightly different thing than the network access management. Mobile device management, the vendors like Mobile Iron, AirWatch, they are working with the end devices. They install some agent there and then work with the end device. But if you are responsible for the network and want to have a visibility for all the spectrum of devices that are accessing to the network, you are acting with network access management, which is a completely different kind of technology, where you have to profile device and user. You're using various authentication methods based on 802.1x, based on MAC address or the web access. You might assess a device. You very likely will apply certain policy, or at least you assign dynamically to the various VLANs with the predefined parameters. You want to have advanced visibility and reporting. You want to handle Bonjour devices, which is the protocol that is used in the Apple world. And you might integrate with MDM and VDI integration. So the MDM and network access management are completely two different technologies. So, and we are here because we are the networking experts. We are talking here about the network access management. So to have a visibility from the network to all the devices that are connected to the network, and then to combine with the technologies like VDI or MDM. So, and you might have obviously more technologies like the IPS, security information management, firewalls, web proxies. Those are the technologies that are complementing the security aspects of the mobile access. So why BYOD? There are various reasons. I was responsible actually for the wider part of the Eastern Europe, and I think when I was last year in Serbia and had a similar conference, the answer was we would, rather than bring your own device, bring the company phone home. So it's a slightly different approach, rather to use the company phones home. But we know that from the company perspective, it has some value to allow the clients to use their own devices because they know it. So it's about user experience and loyalty to the company. It might increase the employee productivity. I will mention at the second part of the presentation, the application awareness. It's about cost savings. It can improve the operational efficiency, and it's a platform for getting the new ideas. Because if people know the mobile devices, you might easily implement new applications in your company, in your organization. So it can, I already said it might increase the productivity. I'm not going to talk about the details, how it can, but this is a trend. That's how the surveys are telling that if you access the bring your own device, I mean that people can bring their own devices, it might in some extent increase the productivity. So, but I'm not here to talk about how much. I'm here to protect your network from if you allow that trends. So what's important from the detecting and profiling the mobile devices? We have to differentiate what is kind of device. It is the employee-owned device, it is a guest-owned device, it is a device that is used at home, it's a corporate-owned device. So we have a different kind of devices that are connecting to network with different ownership. You should care from which location they are connecting, because it matters if they connect from the public space, if they connect from home, or if they connect to from the workplace. So you do care of what applications are running on each mobile device. And you definitely do care about who is the user behind that device. Is it the employee? Is it the administrator? Is it a guest? So is it a contractor? So you are actually working with different kind of parameters. So if we make it, I would say, it looks like complicated, but if we want to grant the mobile access, we do care about, as I said, if that user and from this device and from using that access method from this location and this time, I will grant some policy. It can be the wireless, the VLAN, which is, for example, the project we have with T-Mobile in Czech Republic, where we are deploying the network access control on the Cisco infrastructure, and that we do the dynamic VLAN assignment with certain parameters on top of it. So if you use the infrastructure, which is more advanced, you can talk about the policies, deploy different rate limits, different quality of service, and so on. So this is actually the formula about that. So why Extreme Networks should be the right partner for you for bring your own device? So first of all, we do care about the consistent user experience. So we are the partner of the NFL in the US. We already made the 6 stadiums with our infrastructure in the last 2.5 years. We were the official analytics provider for this year's Super Bowl because we do care about the user experience. It means that you are responsible for the IT. You want to have your clients happy. So you should care about if they use your network, they're happy. They get the service they expect from. It is about security. It's about giving you as much information as possible about every device that is connected into the network. It is about simplicity. I will show you in a minute the management system. That's simple to have a very detailed view of what's happening in the network. We do care about your investment, current investment, because I just told you the example with T-Mobile. We actually have a even bigger NAC in Volkswagen in Germany, in the biggest plant, which is deployed in Juniper technology. And so we don't have to replace the current infrastructure. So we are working with the open standards. And it's about services. So it's about our care that the solution is deployed. So I gave you the example with local customer Unica. So I promised that it will not be just about the presentation. So let me make. We don't have that much time. I tried at the beginning. You might be a part of the live demo. So what I'm actually showing to you, I'm using our management system. And you can see here at the moment, yesterday I had a presentation which was about the application analytics. So I'll just show you the screenshot in a minute. So I have here the Wi-Fi, which is the access point below the table. And this access point, the name is the access point of my colleague, which is Daniel Pala, maybe some of you know. So I just filtered all the identities. They are connected to this access point. So I have here actually two people, because you can see the time. One is myself, which is that phone. If you want to connect, you will find in the air Extreme BYOD. Just go to the portal and just register as a guest, put the name, surname, click it, and submit, and you will be connected. And then I will be able to see your credentials. No worries, no software, no scanning. I'm not scanning, I'm not doing anything with you. I will just check the applications that are running. So if you want to then open Facebook and this kind of, I will just show you in a minute. Or maybe later on, if you're interested in. So what I see about, first of all, let's take myself. Okay, I don't know, there is somebody else with Android. Maybe it's my tablet, which is actually in my bag. So I will take my mobile phone, and I'm just going to see all the details about my mobile phone. So just because I have to go to US. So my mobile phone is connected because it's a green line. It's Android. The link is up. It's connected to this access point, which is below the table. And that access point is connected somewhere to US to the network. So what I can see all the details, and now it's from your perspective, if you are responsible for mobile access and you deploy this kind of solution, what kind of details you can see across the whole network. So first of all, I am accepted. I got that policy and profile. That is the physical device identity. So you can see MAC address, IP address, Android. I hope it's well, I think it's visible. So I am in location, so I have a location awareness. That was actually in the morning, the presentation of Palo Alto. Maybe some of you were there. So this is actually the integration, one of the integration we have with Palo Alto firewalls and with other vendors, that we are giving the location of the identity of the every device which is in the network, and we can send to unified communication system, to firewalls, to mobile device management, and any other systems. I can see the whole activity. So I just click in a minute. Then I'm registered, approved. I'm not scanned. That's what I said. I'm not going to scan anybody. It's Android. Type of access, so it's an access point. What is very interesting here that I did not show 2 years ago, top applications. So you can see that what applications are used on that mobile phone. I just opened Facebook. So I had to open Chrome. And what else I did? I even do not know what I did. So you can see how many applications are running through my phone, through the network. So I'm not talking about the layer 4, but I'm talking about the layer 7. Because I'm able to do application analysis, which, by the way, today we are able to recognize 7,000 applications. We have 13,000 application fingerprints. So for example, Google, you can see here it's Google Talk and Google API and Google as a search engine. So these are the applications which are running on my phone. Going back to the fingerprint, so and system events. So here you can see the history of registrations. Actually, the cache was cleaned, so you don't see that much of history. But if you have that kind of solution, you can have a half year back to see all the history, what identity was connected when, how long, what what was the connection time and all the details. So going back to identity and access. So going back from port view, so we can see more details about the wireless and so on, but I'm not going to talk about all the details. So if I go, this is the list of all the devices that are in the network, and all the information that I showed to you as a device fingerprint you have in the database, which you can easily get that information to other systems you are using, or we can add other things like the MDM details, and so like it's the jailbroken device, it is encrypted, it has installed all the patches and so on. So that's the integration of theirs. Did anybody try to? I will just let me try if anybody else just connected. Just a half minute. I have to, because there's so many access points. So I just have to filter it to my access point, because you can see it's a whole network. So where a lot of my colleagues are using that demo network. So it looks that nobody else connected. Never mind. I just wanted to show it, it's a really light network. So never mind. So this is actually, so if I go back from the details, you have a dashboard, so which is very important that at one moment you can see how many devices are in your network, what are the kind of devices. Quite interesting thing here that was one of the outputs from the Super Bowl was that 80% of all the devices connected to the Super Bowl, which was 13,500 people out of 85,000, and 80% were the iOS, which is quite important information for developers. If you want to deploy some application, you want to develop some application, you probably should know what platforms are being used. So maybe iOS is interesting for you, Android, but probably BlackBerry not anymore, because you see what kind of devices with what operating systems are in the network, what policies are deployed, what profiles, authentication types, recent registrations. So we have more already, which is good. We have some more, but maybe it's not in my access point. It's some others from the other network. And there are various reports and a lot of other information. So let's go back to the presentation. Any question to the short live demo? So if I go back to the presentation. So the Mobile Identity and Access Manager is actually software which can run in the virtual environment. And it's very much about the management, which is very scalable. I just told you it's this old slide that we have the deployment around 200,000 identities in one of the customers. So, and it does the auto discovery, so detecting all the devices that are in the network. It does the multi-level device profiling. It provides the onboarding, so the guest portal, which is customizable, which is very often very important information because we are able to localize it. So it's that's about user experience, that if you want to have your own access portal, you would like to have a localized, maybe to have different access portals based on the different access point. So a lot of our customers, they would like to have a different portals based on the location. So what's another very important thing, it's a connection to other systems. I already mentioned MDM, mobile device management, so we have integrations with AirWatch, Mobile Iron, and many others. I already mentioned the integration with the firewalls, like Palo Alto, Fortinet, and others. We do have integrations with data center managers, so to exchange the identity of VMware machines, which is very interesting that if you have a virtualized environment, we know exactly what virtual machine is where connected, and you can grant the accesses for different users to different applications, and obviously the user-defined integrations. Just last week, which might be quite interesting for you, who you do know the Microsoft link. So we just announced a solution that utilizing this technology and application analytics, that we are able to assign the quality of service for the Microsoft link communication, which is not that easy if you realize how that application works. That infrastructure does not know that's a link connection. So we know this information in the management system because we know it's a link flow. We know where it resides about the information about the end system. We exchange the information with Microsoft Link server. And then based on that, based on the standard, we do assign the quality of service, or we assign to the VLAN in the other vendor technologies, or we assign the policy in our technology. So this is just an example of the connection, which is very fresh with Microsoft Link, which is quite interesting. So the partnership today, it's much wider. So I mentioned already Link. We have a lot of integrations with the unified communication system. I already mentioned data center, security, mobility, SDN. So this is actually how it works with the integration of mobile device management, which I explained at the beginning. It's two different kind of technologies. So we are actually giving the information about the location, about the details in the network, where they are connected, what access point, who is behind that, while MDM software are giving us information. Is it encrypted? Is it jailbroken? So more details about that. And then you can see that in the management system, all the details about what we get from the mobile device management. So we announced another quite interesting thing, which was actually visible in the previous slides. It's about SDN for Wi-Fi, because that's based on the management, that based on the information, like if you get the information from firewall that somebody is accessing sensitive information, we are giving back the information where that user is. So just an example, if in the healthcare, that if some doctor is accessing the information in the critical database, and we realize that that access is from the public space, we probably go through the security, very security strict devices for the inspection, for check. But if that doctor is connecting to this information, maybe in the surgery room where it's completely safe, we probably leave the traffic on the access point. So we don't have to send the traffic for the inspection. So that's just an example of the software-defined networking for the Wi-Fi, because that's utilizing the information from the management I just told. So this is just an example. Just a couple of things about the access points I have below the table. Not sure if I'll be able to open that. So we have the own Wi-Fi technology. We don't have to implement this mobile access and management on our technology only. But if it is on our technology, it's much better. So we already have AO2.11 AC access point, which is quite interesting information, that if you have your own infrastructure, we are able to use the AO2.11 AF ports, which is up to 15 watts, without losing performance. So we are, as far as I know, we are the only vendor that do not need to use 2 ports or the AT ports technology to completely provide the full performance on the access point. And we have the AO2.11n access points with some nice design, which is very often important for the old secession buildings. So we have a lot of customers in that space. They need that the access point looks nice, like a smoke detector. We are actually planning I think in 1 month, 1-2 months, we will have the same design for the AC access point. It's just coming, I think, in November. Outdoors, so we have the outdoors technology. Interesting information is that we have virtualized, it's a controller-based technology, which can be provided as a cloud-based system. So that's a virtual controller that is scalable from 8 to 250 access points. So you can start with a very small implementation up to really wide. One of the largest customers worldwide is Siemens. So Siemens worldwide is using our wireless technology, and they have controllers, I think, in 2 or 3 countries only. So all the others, they are location only with the access points. So that's just, it's utilized the technology I told you, the SDN for Wi-Fi. Actually, one thing what I wanted to show to you at the end of the presentation, I mentioned the application analytics. And going back to the live demo, I hope it still works. So I have the last couple of minutes. And we announced at the beginning of the year the network-powered business analytics, which is using the application intelligence solution. And I already spoke more in details yesterday in the presentation. It was at 2 o'clock. I don't know if anybody of you was there. But the key thing is that we are the networking company. We work in the network to get the information out of it. So from your perspective, if you know what's happening in your network, you know how the company is working. So we don't need to install any agents to the end stations. We don't need to install any other software. So we are just getting that information from the network, which is actually existing there. So if I go here to the applications, so we feel that network is getting strategic asset. And if you really understand what's going through the network, then you understand how the company can work. I was showing the applications that went to the internet, like the Facebook, Google. But just realize the same for the applications like SAP, like Oracle, SharePoint. Those are the internal applications. If you understand how they are being communicated through the network, you can understand how the company, how the organization works. So we have actually three aspects of this solution. First of all, it's the security. So if I go to and look all the applications flows, and I put, for example, BitTorrent. Now I'm in the complete network, so I'm just showing the information from our network in US. And I think that I have some, okay. Oh, BitTorrent is double R, that's the problem. So what I can do, I will just select in the last, I think it's just maybe 2 hours, in the last 2 hours, how many BitTorrents are in the network. So you can see there are a lot of flows in the network from different addresses to different server addresses. There are BitTorrents, peer-to-peer. I see some application info about every flow. And this might be a NetFlow information. So this might be a security incident. So for me, it might be important to report every such event and process and correlates with other systems like security information management, because immediately when I have in the network BitTorrent, that could be a security incident from whatever device it's coming. So this is a security aspect. The second aspect, and I already mentioned that about the user experience. So we are able to measure in the whole network and application response times. What that means, if you are running some applications and you have a client that is complaining that SAP is not working or Oracle is not working on any other application, you can go to the management and show what's the problem. So if I just sort it out from the application response time, I see that in the last 2 hours, the worst application flow is some Virul, I've never seen that, Netflix, something else, with 738 milliseconds. So if I go to the browser, and I'm responsible for the network, including the mobile access, so I want to see 30 applications in the last 24 hours. Okay, so from application response time, I won't see the applications. So on the right side, I will just move it a bit here. So here I can see who are the worst applications in the whole network in the last 24 hours with the really worst network response times. So it's some Apple Push, Meteo, Symantec, VeriSign, DNS, Encrypted Web, Windows Update, NetSide, which is the management. This is a lab. There are some artificial flows. So you can immediately see what are the problems in the network. So you are having your clients, they're accessing and they are running some applications. So I see that the problem is, and I take, for example, DNS. So I take application DNS and I want to see what clients are using DNS. Is it the problem of DNS or is it the problem just of some users? And here you can see that not all users have a problem with DNS as an application. So I see that there is some KAD, some add Steve. So what I can do, obviously go to the right click and see all the details for KAD, but by purpose, I'm using the browser. So I will take client KAD. It's a bit difficult with one hand only. So KAD, and I want to see what applications KAD is running. Yes. And I see that KAD has problem only with DNS. He doesn't have a problem with Windows Update, with NetBIOS, TIFFs, Web, and the others. So this is actually, we said, how to make the mobile access pervasive in a network. So first of all, you can see what devices what are in the network, all the details, but at the same time, you can see what applications these users are doing and troubleshoot. So in terms of user experience, you can prevent potential problems with the applications. You can see if there are bottlenecks in the network. If you deploy new applications, you can just test it in your network and see if there are potential problems that you have to grow the network. The third aspect, which I was not talking, is about business analytics. And business analytics, it's about how your clients are using applications. So if you pay maintenances for some applications, you can see if they are really used, what users are using that. If you want to invest some money to new applications, you might get the trial for 30 days, and you will see how many users are using these applications, if it makes sense to invest into that applications. This is a business aspect that you are really measuring the use of the application through the network. So, and the very last thing what I want to show to you, that I mentioned already that we recognize 7,000 applications. So this is a list of the applications, and just you can see how it's actually defined. So we're working with this kind of definitions of the application. So every flow that is generated in the network, we inspect the necessary part of that flow we need for the inspection match against the database of these fingerprints, that's the open database, and then we know if it is Google, YouTube, or is it Oracle, SharePoint. So this is a application analytics. So if I just make a quick wrap up, oh no, this one. So if I should do really the wrap up of this solution, so the real differentiator, if I do, actually one thing what I did not show to you, but I showed the screenshot, you can take one end system, and I just have a screenshot because it's the version which is not showing that yet, that one user, what are the applications in the network in terms of map, in terms of the applications and every flow. And what's very important if we combine the solution, it's actually a combined solution. We do not talk about the mobile access separate or application analytics. We can deploy that. It's actually more or less about the software. And the uniqueness, it's a scalability, because we can deploy from small to very large networks and in terabit speeds. So not only in a, let's say, small environment, but I just showed you example with the NFL. So it's about terabit speeds. We do recognize that amount of applications, and you can deploy that in the data center, you can deploy in the core, or you just deploy that as a sensor for the application awareness, including this context. And that's another unique feature. That's a combination of application visibility and knowing the context, who is behind every application, so that you don't see only it is a YouTube and some IP address, but you know exactly who is behind that IP address in the real time. It is Mr. D, he's using the Android, he's connected to that access point, he's running Android version what? He has installed mobile device management. So this is kind of visibility that helps you to perceive that mobile, to allowing the mobile devices to be connected to the network, like bring your own device, should not be that difficult and that dangerous for you if you have a tools that provides you with that visibility. So that would be all from my side. So I would encourage you, if you are really interested in this technology, to see it. We already have some implementations here in Hungary as well. I'm camera, so I cannot talk that much about that. But if you are really interested in testing this solution in your network, talk to RelNet. That the guys are very skilled in that technology, or we have a partners here, or you can. I have a business card here. We'll be more than happy to help with you. In terms of deploying the solution, it's a matter of a couple of hours to run the proof of concept and show the first results. In terms of network access control, it's a bit more complicated because depending on what environment we are deploying that. On Wi-Fi, it's usually very easy. In a fixed network, there are problems with AO2.1x supplicants usually, so it needs more preparation. But for proof of concept, it's usually a matter of half day to have it deployed in your network and to see the results very soon. We do have to say demo sets available. It's more or less about software. So if you are interested in, we can discuss later, or you can go to RelNet, our partners, or contact me anytime. We'll be more than happy to help. Any question? Sorry, I don't speak Hungarian. I'm going here for 12 years, being in the company, but I know how to ask for beer, how to give greetings and all these, but I'm really sorry. I'm sorry. It's so, no question. If you have any, I'll be here after the presentation. We'll be happy to answer. Thank you very much for your attention.